Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work that they really love, and create actual amazing relationships. Rachel Cruz, #1 best-selling author, Ramsey personality, and my daughter is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. We're going to start this hour with Marie in Detroit. Hi, Marie. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, how are you? Thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
Here's my question. I am trying to figure out how, what the process is for paying, the principal, the extra payments and all of that so that I can pay my car off early. I have a 75-month loan. My interest rate is 13.74. Yes, I know that's a horrible interest rate. I literally, when I bought the car I drove into the dealership with would not have made it out the dealership. So I literally had to take what I could get in that emergency moment. And I've accessed I did an amortization calculator, if I'm saying it right. Mm-hmm. And if I pay everything as is right now, I'm going to pay $11,000 in interest on a $20,000 car, which is stupid crazy. Mm-hmm. And I've been trying to piece together by watching YouTube videos and asking questions, what is the exact process that I can take to pay extra on my car, towards my principal, towards my interest, or that whole process that allows you to pay your car off before time. Excellent. And I can't figure out how to piece everything together to get a straight answer. So okay. I feel it's a blessing that I was even able to get through to you. So I'm going to shut up and listen and tell me how to do it.
Way to go, Marie. Way to go. You're doing so good. You're thinking outside the box. What's the total balance of the car if you paid it off today?
$18,100 and some odd dollars. I've only had the car a couple of years.
Okay. And what do you make a year?
A little over $100,000, and that's only recently. I was not making that much money over a year ago, and I buttoned down and got another job. And my debt, I bring home about $4,900 a month, and my debt is about $3,500 a month.
You're getting a big tax refund?
No, because I have tax debt that I'm actually tackling as well. I'm trying to get all my finances in order and trying to become debt free.
Okay. How much you have money going into your 401k?
Yes, I do, but I don't have the max. I have, I think about 5%.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, you're new to all of our stuff. I do want to answer your question, but I want to answer it in context of what we teach, okay? So we teach a whole process for becoming wealthy. And the shortest distance between where you are in wealth is getting rid of this debt, as you said. The IRS and the car debt and whatever other debt you've got. We teach you to list all of that debt, smallest to largest, pay minimum payments on everything but the little one, and attack the little one with a vengeance. So let's put that in context of that. What do you owe the KGB, the IRS?
I just actually did it, and I'm at about $20,000.
Okay, so very similar to your car. Okay, what other debts have you got?
Besides my car, I think I have a few medical bills. I don't have in context, an enormous amount of debt, but the debt that you
got plenty.
If I was to lose one of my jobs,
you got plenty.
Could literally,
you got enough to be nervous.
Mm-hmm. Well, she just said if she lost one of her jobs, she'd drown.
Yeah.
So yeah, you feel it.
Good.
Do you know what the other medical debt is? Do you have credit cards too, Marie, at all? Credit card debt?
No, I don't have credit card debt.
No student loan?
No.
Good. Okay, great. Okay, we got a good picture then. Okay, so what we would do is tell you to do this. Temporarily stop investing, because we want to completely focus on clearing all this debt as fast as possible, and I want to squeeze as much out of your check and get it home as much as I can to throw it at the debts. First thing we're going to do is knock out those 2 little medical bills right quick because they're just like mosquitoes buzzing around, okay? And then once they're done, then I agree with you. We'll pay the minimum pay. Are you paying a payment plan on your old tax debt?
I haven't gotten to that point yet. I'm actually working with a financial counselor who's going to do an offer and compromise for me once the IRS sends me my official bill.
You won't get it. Have you paid him to do that?
I paid them to file all of my back year taxes.
Good.
That's what I paid them to do.
Yeah, do not pay for an offer and compromise. You won't get one.
Okay.
The OIC is based on the only way the IRS forgives IRS debt. An offer and compromise is the IRS waives your debt. They give it up. They're not going to collect it. The only way they do that is if you are have no income and no assets, and you have both. So there's not a chance you're going to get an OIC. And some of these companies, I don't know who you're dealing with, will charge you as much as $10,000. Like you hear them on cable TV and stuff like, if you got IRS debt, we can help. Yeah, give me $10,000 to file an OIC and you don't stand a snowball's chance in hell of that thing going through. So no, don't do it. You're not going to get approved for it. That's it. So now back to your car that you called about, okay? All the way back there. We're going to stop your 401k. We're going to pay minimums on everything, and we're going to attack the debt as fast and as harshly as we can. If you can change your W-2 and bring more home and not create more tax problems, but instead just not get a tax refund, because a tax refund is going to go straight to them.
Okay.
But if you could get no tax refund but owe no more, and I think you've got too much coming out of your check, and I would have your tax person look at that. But anyway, as much as we can do, anything we can do to get money to throw at the car. Now, then there's 2 types of car loans. Most car loans are what are called simple interest loans, and you would just simply pay big chunks of extra checks once a month on that debt. So if you send them $1,000, the next month, that 13.74 is not charged on that $1,000.
Okay.
And you went from 18 to 17. And then you send them $1,000 the next, it goes from 17 to 16. I want you to pay off this car in 12 months, $1,500 a month or less. 12 or less months.
Is that $1,500 including the actual payment?
No, on top of your actual payment.
Okay.
And you'll be done in about 11 months if you do that. Okay? Now, that's if it's simple interest. And most car loans, 90-some-odd% of them are simple interest. There is another type of interest that is a rip-off car loan, a subprime lender, and it's a high interest rate. You might have one of those, and they will charge you the interest whether you pay it off early or not. They calculate it, they give you some savings, but they calculate it on total of payments, the TOP. When you call them up and ask for the balance, what do they give you? They give you the $18,000 balance, or do they give you the $30,000 balance?
Honestly, I keep getting the runaround. I can't get anybody to answer my question.
Who's the loan with?
It's Ally.
Oh, crap. Yeah, you may have a subprime loan here. Allied's crappy stuff. So 13.74.
But you still just throw more money at it.
Either way, just throw as much as you can at it as fast as you can. And you just send them an extra check once a month, a big one, and tell them principal only, and they'll throw it on there. It is that simple after all that discussion.
Look, I love real estate, and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome. They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information.
Special Cruise Ramsey personality is my co-host today. She and George Camel will join me on July the 14th. We are hosting a free live stream event called the Real Estate Reality Check. And we're going to walk you through what's going on out here in the housing market and how it all works and how to navigate it. And spoiler alert, the housing market is not going to crash. And we're going to show you why. We'll teach you where real estate prices come from. And so then we can show you how that works, and you can understand the facts with actual data and charts and graphs and economics and stuff instead of feelings. Yeah. If you want some feelings, read the comments on my Instagram. You'll find some feelings. People have a lot of feelings on Instagram.
I did this morning. I didn't know you posted it's a great synopsis.
You liked the article?
Yeah, that was great of
Thanks.
it. And then underneath,
here it goes.
it's a lot. I know. I hate to even go. You can finish what you're going to say.
We ought to read Dave reads mean tweets, right? I mean, we ought to do some of that. But anyway.
But if that's what you're reading though, and that's where you're getting your information though, it is scary of what people are saying, of like the belief of what is really happening in the world. And
the number of people that think that the sky is falling is disturbing.
It's a lot. I mean, it's a lot.
And they're angry about it, and they try to be intellectual about their anger. And it's really hilarious. It's kind of sad. But let me help you with something,
but
okay? If you are posting negative comments on someone else's Instagram that you don't even know, by definition, you're not an intellectual. Okay,
gosh.
By definition,
that's like more than half the population now.
Well, I mean,
people feel the need.
No, I don't. Okay. I guess I don't qualify because I've never posted a comment on someone's Instagram that I don't know, good or bad.
Well, of course not. I was going to say,
why wouldn't I? I don't need to go around and bitch about what someone else has to say.
Oh my gosh, you've said 2 cuss words in 2 segments of this show already. Unbelievable.
Okay.
No, but really, people are. They are. Okay, keep going.
They're afraid.
They are.
And in their fear, they come off angry.
That is true. And
we're going to help.
The question, the statement is that you don't need to be afraid. And here are the facts. And this is what we're going to talk about, which I really am excited about.
We're going to help.
Diving in.
We're going to show you that, yeah, we're going to help. And you can call me names and everything else. I'm still going to help you.
That's right. So, yeah, you're so sweet.
That's me. Sweet. That's what I'm known for. Yeah.
But we can all acknowledge, though, if you were to paint where we are as a country today, from inflation to, everything that's going on, right?
Yeah, I filled up my Raptor and I almost passed out. I'm a hyperventilator. I had a John Deloney anxiety attack.
You did. It's good to know. He's human.
It's not because I don't have money. It just pissed me off. It just made me mad.
I know, but it is pretty wild where we're at though as a country. Would you agree of everything, or do you just don't think it's like?
It is.
With housing,
there is more negativity right now in the economic news than there has been in a decade.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so if this is your first grown-up decade to have a grown-up economic trouble, this is your first time to see this. I've lived through like 6 of these, so I've got a bit of a yawn. But it's not because I'm detached or don't understand. I just have perspective. I'm old. And so I've seen it. We didn't die from this the other 6 times it happened in my life. And so it's not the end of the world. The sky's not falling. I mean, Biden's incompetent, but he doesn't have the power to completely destroy the nation. He's just screwing it up, it's not, he just doesn't, and neither does the Fed, and neither do I, if I'm wrong about this, woo, and so, it's just the point is, it's that we're going to be okay, and we're going to give you perspective over time, and it's not because we're out of touch, it's actually because we're in touch with this thing called history, and data, and perspective, and all of that leads to a word called wisdom. And we're going to walk you through all of that. And it's going to be, we're not going to talk down to people. It's just, we're going to show you what's going on.
Yes.
And it's just, but it is a little bit of a psychologically fascinating thing in the world of social media, how out of control people's emotions are. I mean, they're 4 years old in their emotions. Just completely bonkers.
Yes.
I would not anymore allow you to behave like that in my presence. And you wouldn't either. You wouldn't either. I mean, if I want you, that lady sitting out there wouldn't allow someone to act like that in front of her. Because she would be going, you're 4 years old. Grow up. And because people don't act like that in person, but on digital media, they lose their
100%,
minds.
totally. But with the event, though, we are going to address the
real estate prices.
That and the fear and the mindset that's so easy to go into, right?
Yeah. If you've already got your mind made up and you've decided the world's coming to an end, don't watch it. It's just going to make you mad because I'm right and you're wrong. It's going to piss you off. So don't even watch it.
What percentage do you know you are right that the world is that the real estate market is not going to crash?
Versus the commenters on Instagram, 100. But in general, hey, listen. Did I call inflation a year ago?
You did.
Dead on.
Yeah, you did.
Okay?
You did.
Did I call the recession properly in 2008?
I have no idea.
No, I did not. Okay, I declared there was not going to be a recession in 2008, and I was wrong. It went down.
Okay. All right.
But,
now
but
we're
I was using
it.
I was using different data to analyze that than I was this situation. That was more that.
Did that catch everyone off guard, though? Or am I was...
That was the first time
young.
that type of economy movement had occurred, and that none of that is involved in this one.
Yes.
Okay? It was the mortgage-backed securities, the MBSs, and the mortgages being made to broke people because of horrible lending practices bought by hedge funds and securitized, and it crashed not only the stock market, it crashed the housing market. So it didn't crash, it brought it down dramatically. And it all came back in 24 months, by the way.
Yeah.
Even in 2008, when I was wrong.
Yeah.
And so if I'm really wrong on this one,
we got 2 years.
This idea that your world is coming to an end is still not correct. I'm more right than that. No matter what. So it's not just me. I mean, you and me and George.
No, you've got
all of us have gone through all this. So
you've done this since you were 18, Dave.
I have. RamseySolutions.com/reality check if you want to sign up for the free live stream called Real Estate Reality Check. And as you can tell, the discussion between George and Rachel and I will be fun and entertaining. It always is. All right, Zach is with us in Chicago. Hey, Zach, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Rachel, for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So I've been on your program for about 3 years now, and I am debt-free except for my mortgage.
Good for you.
I am. Thank you. Thank you, Dave, for providing this knowledge, and Rachel. The next step here in my life is I'm getting married in November.
Yay!
Right.
Congratulations, Zach.
Thank you. And I have a new problem that I never thought about before this, so it kind of took me off guard, and I don't know how to handle it. The wedding is a traditional Indian wedding, and we're cash flowing all of it, mainly her parents and my parents, so that's not the issue. The issue is they're insisting on gifting us a bunch of gold, both of us, from both sides. My side to hers, her side to us, because that's what they do. It's tradition.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what the hell am I going to do with a bunch of gold sitting in a safe for the next 30 years? Because I asked my dad, where's your gold that you got from your wedding? It's been sitting in a safe deposit box for 40 years. What am I supposed to do?
What am I supposed to do?
Well,
it's tradition. That's my thing, Zach. A little bit. There's like a.
How fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it's exciting, but I'm like, I don't know.
So how much do you think all this gold will be worth?
If I was to put a number on it, I mean, I'm gonna end up with like $50,000.
Wow. Okay. So how long before you sell it?
Exactly. I mean, the problem I'm having with it also is my family's spending and paying 10% to 13% on tax for buying this gold.
Yeah.
That's money that I don't get.
That's not your problem. That's their problem. So I would take the gold and I would hold it long enough to hurt as few feelings as possible, like a year, and then I would sell it, turn it into cash. That's simple, and it's a nice tradition.
It's a gift.
A $50,000 gift of any kind that I can sell later for $50,000 is a wonderful gift.
Not hurt people's feelings. Holding off till hurt as least. Something's happening. I feel it. I feel it in the air. Changing before our eyes, Dave. You're changing before our eyes.
Oh, yeah, that's it. This is the Ramsey Show. Chaos. That's what it can feel like when your business is growing so fast you've outgrown your financial and accounting software.
The faster you grow, the more likely you are to lose control of the numbers. And here's the reality. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. That's why we use NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. Over 28,000 companies use NetSuite by Oracle, including Ramsey Solutions, because NetSuite gives us a single view of everything we need to make daily decisions. Whether you're making a few million to hundreds of millions a year, NetSuite gives you the visibility and control of the things you need to grow, like your financials, inventory, HR, planning, budgeting, and more, all in one dashboard. Go to netsuite.com/Ramsey right now to get their free white paper. Jumpstart your CFO career.
Rachel Cruz, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. On the stage, the debt-free stage, Brandon and Blair are with us right here in the lobby. Hey, guys, how are you?
Hey.
Subtle shirts.
We just wanted to make sure the point got across.
Make sure it's bright. You need, like, lit up, debt-free.
Yay.
I like it. I like your shirts a lot. I'm kidding with you. I love them. So how much debt did you pay off?
We paid off $230,000
Wow.
in 38 months.
Good for you. And your range of income during that time?
We started off with $126,000 and ended with $170,000.
Excellent. What do y'all do for a living?
I'm a teacher,
What grade you teach?
2nd grade.
Oh, I love it.
Sweet time. Sweet kids.
Yes.
And I'm an implementation manager for a financial institution.
Very cool. Very cool. We got some second graders
Amazing.
running around among
I
the grandbabies.
know.
Yeah.
We got
We
one
love
going
second
on.
grade teachers right now. Yeah. We know how patient they must be. Yeah, so good stuff, guys. So where do y'all live?
Greensboro, North
Yes,
Carolina.
Greensboro, North
Oh,
Carolina.
neat. Very fun. What kind of debt was the $230,000?
It was a little bit of everything, Dave. We didn't meet a 0% interest card that we didn't love. So we had all sorts of consumer debt, from beds to furniture to appliances, car loans. Student loans were the biggest. We even had a house that we decided to keep for a while and ended up getting rid of.
Okay. That was your personal residence or your rental?
It was a second home
Okay.
at that time, yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. So you still got your house. And
Correct.
Now, does this include your mortgage?
One of them.
It included
Okay,
the
but you
first
still have
house.
a mortgage on
Still
your
got the
residence.
main one,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Cool. Well,
So that was
congrats.
that's a lot, you guys.
You were normal.
We were very normal.
Very normal.
Yeah, normal
Yes.
sucks. Yeah, way to go,
Yeah.
guys. So proud of y'all. Tell us how you did this. How'd you get tied into this Ramsey stuff, and how did this journey start?
So at one point, I was doing like a makeshift budget, and I realized that we didn't have very much money left over at the end of the month, and we had this 9-year-old and no way to pay for college. And so it really hit hard, and we looked at, how many debts we actually had. And we had to think about 18 different people we owed money to.
Wow.
And that really hit hard, that the majority of our paycheck was going to debt. So I remember telling Brandon, we've got to do something. We've got to figure something out. And so I Googled how to get out of debt. And baby step 2 snowball popped up. And so I clicked on it. And I immediately was like, this is a great plan. And he's our spender. And so I did not think that he was going to get on board. And then I realized that was baby step 2. So I kept looking and saw that there were 7 baby steps. And Brandon agreed to do it. I did not think it was going to stick. And then the next day he came home and he was so excited. And he said, oh my gosh, there's a podcast and you've got to listen to it. And there's even people who will get on and they'll scream that they're debt free. And it's super exciting. And we were hooked from there.
I love it. Our plan worked.
Sneaking in there.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so what did that conversation look like? Because there's a lot of people listening that are like, oh, it's the wife, and she's like, I want to get my husband on board. What did she say, Brandon, that kind of hooked you, that made you even look up a podcast, that you kind of were like, okay, I'm intrigued by this idea of actually becoming debt free?
It was that budget, sitting down and looking and realizing we make a decent amount of money, but we can't enjoy it. It's gone before it even hits
It does
the
kind
house
of
at that
tick
point.
you off. We make six figures, we're broke.
It's very frustrating, and then to see the little one here at 9 and not know how we were even going to think about college at that point. I felt like we were letting her down, so we needed to get kicking into gear.
Good dad.
That's
good mom.
amazing.
That's good. Yeah, there's nothing like the changing your family tree to motivate you. That's real.
Yeah.
You look in their eyes and you go, I have to be a grown up and I'm going to fix this mess. Yeah, that's good, guys. I'm very proud of you.
So what were the things you guys did to get the most progress when getting out of debt, would you say?
Well, I took on quite a few different little side gigs. I did a lot of tutoring, which brought in quite a bit of money.
What can you get an hour tutoring?
I did about $35 an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the main subject?
Reading.
Reading. Yeah, I love it.
And then I also...
That's also, by the way, very helpful for the parent. Yeah.
Yes. And whenever my county offered like any kind of training and they would pay us to do it, I went through the training. So even if it didn't really apply necessarily, I still did it because they were paying me for it. And so that definitely helped.
Nice part-time jobs, yeah.
Yes. And we also sold his truck.
Sold the truck, Dave.
Oh, man.
Ooh, now it got real.
Yeah.
What was the truck?
It was a Ram 1500, brand new at the time.
Whoa. Yep. What did that sell for?
Well, we just sold that a couple years ago, so it sold for around 20.
Yeah. It's a beast of a truck.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That was a hard one.
Yeah.
The good news is if you drive like no one else later, you can drive anything you want.
We're going to get there.
You're on your way. Yeah. Way to go, guys. Wow. You guys are committed. You deserve a big bold shirt. Yeah. you were committed. I mean, you did the hard stuff, the hard work and everything else. So at the end of the day, when someone hears you paid off $230,000 in 38 months, a little over 3 years, that's a rowdy number. Sold the truck. Sound like you sold a second house or a third house or whatever it was. And so you moved some stuff. But what do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is?
So I'll let you go first.
Okay. To me, it's the budget. It allows the spenders to spend. Gives you permission.
I feel you, Brandon. That's right.
Yeah, it gives the savers a little control over us.
Yeah.
So I think that's really important. And when Murphy calls, because it's going to call along the way, especially over 38 months, and I know others have done longer journeys. You have to start with taking debt off the table. It's real easy to say, let's go grab some more debt, but when you make that decision to take debt off the table, you find other solutions on how to do things.
Yeah.
And then for me, it's all about changing your mindset. You have to realize, one, that you're not a victim. That was really big for me because I'm like, oh, poor teacher can't get ahead. We don't make a lot, took out all these loans. But then I had to realize, no, I took out these loans. This is my fault. Now let's get out. And then to also realize that you're not the exception. There's a lot of people who say, oh, well, but my story's different. And so I can take the debt out. Or, I can use a card here because this is a different situation. And you are not the exception to the rule. Your plan works. And so if you follow it and you do it correctly, it works for anyone.
Can you guys fill in for me when I'm out? They got this dialed in. I mean, that's good right there. That'll preach.
Amazing.
Good stuff. Very, very good. Good job. So proud of y'all.
Thank you.
We got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires for you. That's the next chapter in your story. You will be Baby Steps Millionaires, the third most likely career to become a millionaire as a teacher. So you are on the list right there, right up there at the top. Very, very good. And a copy of Total Money Makeover for you to give away to someone. We'll also give you a one-year membership to the brand new Financial Peace University. New videos with George Camel, Chris Hogan, Dr. John, not Chris Hogan, I'm sorry. Rachel Cruz, and Chris was in it, and Rachel Cruz and Dr. John Deloney in it, and me, of course. So brand new videos, all out right now with Ramsey Plus, Financial Peace University, and that'll give you something to give away. Or if you had never been through it, time to go through it. Did y'all ever go through it?
We did.
Oh, okay.
Whenever, when we were pregnant and we were about to have the baby, you had done a trial where you could do it for free during COVID.
Yeah.
And so we binge watched all the videos.
Good. I love it. Very
we weren't
good.
going anywhere, so yeah, we just sat there and watched.
Might
them
as
all.
well, yeah. Got to have something to do. It's either that or Tiger King. So, yeah. Good job, you guys. Good job. All right, Brandon and Blair, and bring in Madison and Rowan with us from Greensboro, North Carolina. $230,000 paid off in 38 months. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt free.
That's how it's done, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Ramsey Show. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Our question of the day comes from Blinds.com. They have a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Even if you mismeasure or you pick the wrong color, they'll remake your blinds for free. Free samples, free shipping, and new promos all the time. You'll save even more. Always use the promo code Ramsey.
Today's question comes from Robert in Kentucky. I used to be a business owner, and my minor children were on the payroll for modeling on our website and doing commercials. Their pay was just enough to fully fund their Roth IRAs. Now I have sold my business, so they no longer receive W-2s. Can I fund their IRAs by having them do chores around the house if I keep track of the chores and the amounts paid?
No. Won't survive an audit. So you have to have an earned income to fund an IRA, and you have to file a tax return on the earned income. And no, you can't have them work for you. Now, what you can do, and what I did with Rachel, Daniel, and Denise, was that any work that they did at the office, like you had done, I mean, we didn't do any modeling, but we had you selling books at the, you were the cute kid selling books at the book table, but you actually did work your little tail off. So we paid you well for that, kept track of that, and then I added up anything that you all made outside of our home: babysitting, dog sitting, yard cutting, whatever. But it had to be
integrity snacks.
Had to be something outside of our home. You cannot pay a kid for doing chores and file taxes on it, but you can do that if they work doing something outside the home, because someone else has paid them and is an income, and then you file that income and pay income tax on the income if it's taxable in that situation, if there's enough there, and whatever that amount totals up to the maximum on the Roth IRA you can put in. So, like, I remember one year, one kid made like $1,223, and we added it all up, and that's all we could, with integrity before God, tell the IRS that they had really made. We didn't lie about it, in other words. And so I filed tax return on that kid, $1,223, and I opened a Roth IRA. Now, I paid the taxes. This is a 14-year-old or something, you know. I paid the taxes, and I put the money into the Roth IRA, the $1,200 into the Roth IRA. But it enabled me to where you guys all came out of college with a pretty good amount. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like $200,000 or something, but it was north of $50,000 probably, and that they had all grown to, and you'd done them a little bit at a time, from the time you were about 10 up through 18 or whatever, and we file tax returns on you every year. And so that you have proof that there's an earned income, so that when you file it. Now, if you don't file the tax return, you're going to get in trouble, and if you can't justify
proof that there's,
in other words, you can't have someone come to your office and do modeling and pay them $800,000 when you could have hired another model for $2,000. You can't do that, okay? You has to be market value for the labor. Now, it can be the upper end of market value for the labor, but, so when you guys did work here at the office in the summers, we paid you well so that we could fund that thing, but we didn't pay you like 5x of what we would pay someone else, because you can't, that won't survive an audit. It's not a marketplace wage. And so that's how you can do that. But it's a good question, and it's what baby step 7. That's where you would do stuff like that. You would not do that if you don't have your mortgage paid off.
Yeah.
And you pay your mortgage off. You would not do that while you're putting to put more than 15% away for retirement. You would not do that while you haven't funded the kids' college fund, and instead you funded the Roth IRA. You would not do that. So this is all after everything else is done. House is paid off at baby step 6. Now we're just loading up anything we can load up, and that sets the kid up. And realistically, they can be millionaires well before they're 30 if they stay out of debt, don't have college debt because of you, and you do stuff like that because of you, and then they come into their first home, and you're able to help with that because of you. You do all of those kinds of things. You could set that if the kids got their head screwed on, then they can come out. The math comes out really well in their favor.
Well, and it's the intentionality, and I feel like that's a little bit of that idea, like when people say like the rich get richer kind of thing, right? Like it's a different mindset, but when you have the mindset of baby step 7, when you as a person, you have no payments, your house is paid off, you're funding college, it almost gives you the bandwidth to think, okay, how can I continue to change my family tree? What is that? How do you continue to pass on not just the monetary side of it, but also the character side of holding it?
Yeah, you teach them the hard work ethic and saving and generosity.
Yeah. Versus a home where nothing is ever talked about. You're just, you know what I mean? And this isn't a conversation. There's no teaching. There's no guiding. There's nothing. Then your child has to start from ground zero as an adult, probably getting themselves out of debt and trying to figure this out, right? So it's just the whole changing your family tree. It's a big scope,
Yeah, it is. It's more holistic than simply the math.
Totally. Yeah, I think so.
That's what you're saying.
For sure.
Yeah. And you're right. It is the answer, because I didn't grow up in a rich household. I mean, we weren't poor. I didn't go without food or anything, but we weren't rich. I mean, we knew those rich people lived over there, and so when I decided I was going to become a student of rich people, the rich get richer that's how people that are mad about it always say, the rich get richer, poor get poorer. Yeah, because they keep doing rich people stuff, which is intentionality. It's not screwing people. They just think about it. When the way I grew up, you wouldn't have thought about doing something like fund the kids' Roth IRA. We weren't even funding our own Roth IRAs. Let's talk about funding some 12-year-old's Roth IRA.
Right.
That's an intentional, like you said, that's intentionality.
Well, and you have the bandwidth mentally to say you're not worried about, putting food on the table and paying the bill next month. When you're out of that mindset, something happens. When you don't have debt, you have an emergency fund, you follow this plan, there is a shift, I think, that you have the capacity in your mind to start thinking, okay, what else can we do creatively to help our family?
Well, it opens up both investing and generosity.
Yes.
Because you've got the bandwidth, and the bandwidth doesn't come from more money. The bandwidth comes from being on a budget.
Right.
And when these folks say, what got you out of debt? I always say the budget. Everybody says the budget. Because what the budget does is you're telling your money what to do instead of wondering where it went. And no one tells money to do something stupid on purpose. But we've all done something stupid with money because we didn't bother to tell it what to do.
Yes.
And so when you're thinking about it like that, that's what rich people do.
Yes.
That's
do you ever recommend UPMAs still? UPMAs?
Do I recommend them?
Yeah.
You can do them. It's just an account in the kid's name, but it doesn't grow tax-free.
Right. So would you recommend parents, let's just say you have parents listening on Baby Step 7, go that, hey, kid, work. We're going to file taxes on you. We're going to do the Roth IRA route. Mm-hmm. That's more beneficial.
I would do the Roth, and I would do a 529 for college.
Yes. Those are.
Before I did an UTMA.
Yes. Those are. Yeah. In better favor for the child long term.
Right. Well, the UTMA, Uniform Transfer to Minors Act, is simply any account in the kid's name.
Yeah.
If you open a savings account at the bank, it's an UTMA.
Yeah.
Technically, under the law. It just means, because kids aren't, if you're not 21 or not 18 in some states, you can't do contracts, so you can't open a bank account. So your parents open it, in your name, and they are named the custodian,
of it.
and that is an UTMA. But that happens with a mutual fund, or technically a 529 it falls under that.
Because I've heard of some parents doing that instead of like an ESA or 529.
Yeah, but they're not getting the tax break.
Yeah.
And so, no, you're missing out on the free tax growth. Tax-free growth is not an UTMA. So, no, I wouldn't do that. I would do the 529s first. But everybody's always trying to game the system. So instead, just bother to care. And that games the system. That's what rich people do. Rich people are not consumed with money. They're not greedy. It's just they are students of it rather than students of victimhood. Now, some poor people are poor not because of their bad habits. Some people are poor because they're in a situation where they're being oppressed by another people group in some way. And so poor people are often taken advantage of, and it keeps them poor. And that's not good. I mean, we never endorse that. But you know, every time I have done something stupid with money, it made me more poor.
You lost money.
You know, that goes with part of it is that, okay? Part of it is you're doing stupid stuff with money. And part of it is just the evil that is in the world that, you know, payday lenders taking advantage of people, right?
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. And you don't see payday lenders in the rich end of town. There's a reason. Rich people don't do that stuff. That's how they got rich. See, there's that thing, okay? So that puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books.
Hey, it's Rachel Cruz, co-host on The Ramsey Show. If you want to do your debt-free scream live on the show, visit RamseySolutions.com/debt-free scream. We'd love for you to come to Nashville and tell Dave your story. That's RamseySolutions.com/debt-free scream.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help folks build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, and my daughter is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Jeff starts off this hour in Indianapolis. Hi, Jeff. How are you?
Doing great. Thanks for taking my call today.
Sure. What's up?
So my wife and I are on baby steps 4, 5, and 6. We have 3 kids, a senior in high school, a sophomore, and an 8th grader. And we have a pretty good retirement built up. And we have about $130,000 left on our mortgage. And we were just wondering, you know, what kind of is our next step? You know, how do we split? Or do we split our money, or do we kind of focus it in one of those 3 areas over the next 6 years?
College is coming at you like a freight train, huh?
Yes, sir.
What do you have saved for that, Jeff?
So we have about 10 for each kid and probably 20 for our oldest. We think that her college will probably be between 5 and 10 with her guaranteed scholarships to an in-state school. Mm-hmm. So we could essentially finance that pretty easily.
What's your household income?
Over the next, it's usually around 120. This year, it'll probably be up to 160.
Way to go. Good. Okay. Well, it sounds like you're making good college choices in terms of choosing one that's affordable. That's very wise. I mean, if I woke up in your shoes, the college would be my first concern, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to get all the math. I just want to make sure that box is checked and I've got a way to do it before I move on to something. In other words, I wouldn't pay extra on the house till I knew I had the kids covered.
Okay.
That's why it's 5 instead of 6.
Yeah. What about throwing more into retirement because the market's on sale?
That'd be tempting, but before I did that, I'd want to take care of my kids' college. 15% of your income going into retirement, and then that's why it's 4, and then 5 is kids' college. And now if you have said, okay, we make 160 and we can cash flow this if we do this, this, and this, then A, B, and C, then go do A, B, and C and cash flow it. And that's the kid getting scholarships, college choice, kids going to work while they're in school. None of those are bad things. It's not child abuse. But I want to know that we have a way mathematically figured out, and it's not just we hope we can do it. We've actually calculated it out, projected the budget out, and said this is how the math is going to flow for each of the 3 kids to get through school. Once you've got that, then I would move and start paying off my house.
Yeah, then the wiggle room starts to happen once you have mapped it out. And I think that that's a powerful thing too, Jeff, of what he just said, though. When you put facts on paper, like when you and your wife sit down and you guys just plan out, hey, in the next 5 years, here's what 22, 23, 24, 25 look like, and project out whether it's income, but the big chunks, and you start to see it, then that kind of gives you more breathing room to be like, okay, we'll set that track going, and then we're going to take this money over here, and we feel good about throwing that extra on the house because we know that that's taken care of. But it just gives you kind of that peace of mind and answers the question, because you guys may look down and be like, oh gosh, like, because of the kids' college, maybe we pause on paying off the house early.
Yeah, you may not be able to pay extra. You may not be able to pay extra, especially when like how old's the youngest one?
He's an 8th grader.
Okay, so you're going to have 2 in max at the same time, but you're going to have several years of 2 people on the payroll.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so you can map that cash flow out over the next 8 years, right? And so that's you just exactly like Rachel's saying there, and you can just put it won't take an hour. I mean, you sit down and do it, turn TV off and just lay it out on a yellow pad. It's not hard, but but in that you're going to make assumptions about where they're going to school, and so you can go ahead and start communicating to all 3 of them. This is where you're going to school.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what we did.
The boundary conversation.
Yeah, that's what we did.
Or if you want to go somewhere else, you gotta pay the difference, which was a conversation we had.
So the other option is, do we try to hammer down on the mortgage and get it paid off in 3 years, and then
you'll have kids in school? You got a senior, right?
Correct, but again, I think her cost is going to be around $5,000 a year.
Yeah.
Which we have covered.
Okay.
We have 4 years of her school covered.
Check number 1. Okay. Box check 1.
Yeah.
Box check 2. Box check 3. And then you can play with the variable of jumping in and knocking off the house, and that increases your cash flow, which enables you to be more able to pay to cash flow college. That makes me more nervous, though, than just having it covered and then reaching over and paying off the house. You're going to get to all 3. You're going to be wealthy, you're going to have a paid-for house, and you're going to get all 3 paid for. But you just need to have a game plan laid out to do it, and you decide. You called asking what the priorities
and Jeff, that
are.
may be the case. Like, I don't know. Yeah, you may look and be like, okay, daughter's taken care of, $20,000. That's all she needs.
So before the next one gets to college,
Junior's brilliant, and he's going to go to in-state school and have that. He only needs that. Okay, that's covered. We can do that. I mean, yeah, you can kind of map it out. And you may be able to pay off the house in 3 years.
If you want to do that, but I wouldn't put the kid, make sure that you're not rocking over the edge of the cliff on the kid's college. Because if I'm choosing between paying off my house 2 years earlier versus paying cash for the kid's college, there's no choice here. You pay off the kid's college first before you pay off the house 2 years early. You're going to get it paid off. It's just a matter of when. So it's okay, but just make sure you've got that math laid out. I mean, if you told me you had $200,000 in the bank right now and you're just going to write a check and pay off the house, I'd say, okay, go ahead and do it. Because we know we can get to the college, right? That's the thing. So, but you don't, and that's not where you are.
Yeah.
So map it out. All you got to do is be intentional here. You're going to make good choices. I can tell from talking to you for 10 minutes, you're going to figure it out. It's not like this. It's just a math riddle of sorts, and it's not a complicated one. It's just flow. It's the here's September. Here's October. I mean, here's September. Here's January. Here's April. 3 tuition payments or 2 tuition payments or whatever they are every year. And here's dorm or not dorm. And here's the school cost today. And here's how much we got. And here's what the state scholarships are. And you just map all that in there. And there's about 6 variables, and you can pull it together. It's not going to be rocket science. It's really not. It's not. It doesn't even require a spreadsheet. You can do it with the calculator on your phone and your yellow pad if you want to. So it's not that hard. But the good news, you're the secret sauce for figuring this out, not some formula or adherence to the baby steps or something like that. You are the sauce, and you've got what it takes to do this. You're going to do it. I'm proud of you. Very, very well done. That's a good call, Rachel. That's a good dad.
Jeff, you're a good dad.
He is a good dad.
Your kids better say thanks, Dad.
Good, yeah. They're going to look back later and say it. They may not like where he lets them go to school, but oh well. Life goes on. This is the Ramsey Show.
Still on baby step number 1, eh?
How'd you guess?
With healthcare costs rising, learn how Christian Healthcare Ministries can help you make the most out of your budget. Visit chministries.org/budget.
Don't worry, it's worth it.
Rachel Cruz, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. If you've taken Financial Peace University, you know it's life-changing, and that makes it really tough to watch your friends and family struggle with money when you know there's an actual way to do it. There's hope. But you can help them. You can help them change their family tree just like you did, and everything you need to win with money is in a Financial Peace University gift card. They'll learn our proven money plan with Financial Peace University just like you did. And then they'll put that plan into action with the premium version of Every Dollar. And when they get stuck, they can talk to our team of financial coaches. It's all in there with a Financial Peace University gift card. This summer, share the hope you've discovered for your life and that money. Get your Financial Peace University gift card at RamseySolutions.com/gift. That's RamseySolutions.com/gift. You jump in, we'll talk about your life and your money. Rachel Cruz is here. Terry is with us. Terry is in San Diego. Hi, Terry. How are you?
Hello, Dave. Hello, Rachel. Thanks for taking my call. First-time caller, long-time listener.
Sure. What's up?
Well, what I've got, Dave, is I've got a rental house. This was a house that my wife and I bought a long, long time ago. We moved on to a bigger house and everything else, and right now it's the only debt we have. About, 2016, when they changed the tax laws and they went to the standard deduction, I went ahead. That house had been free and clear. I took out a loan against that house and paid off my home mortgage. Right now, the loan on the rental house is at 3.5%. Right now, I'm 57 years old, and I'm approaching retirement, and I'm toying with the idea of paying this mortgage off. But at 3.5%, I don't know if it's the right thing to do.
Terry, how much money do you guys have just cash flowed since this is your only debt?
Well, this is the only debt. Our gross family income is about $300,000 a year. We fully fund our retirements, our 401ks. I do a backdoor Roth.
What's your net worth?
And, our net worth right now is probably around $3 million with all of our and I have
the balance on the rental house is what?
$320,000.
Okay. Well, you've done a wonderful job. Congratulations.
Well, thanks.
I assume you did not inherit this money. I assume it came from your investing and saving.
Exactly.
Good. Very well done. I'm proud of you. Good work. So let's first establish that paying off this mortgage or not paying off this mortgage is not going to bankrupt you, nor is it going to make you wealthy. You're already wealthy.
Understood.
So this question is, in a sense, virtually irrelevant But it's a fun discussion to have, so I'd love to have it, okay? Because it's not going to make you or break you is my point.
I understand.
Okay. So now, having said that, here's what I have discovered. And I discovered this after I went broke in real estate. And I love real estate. And real estate people like me that grow up in a real estate household, one of the things they do is they take you and they break your risk meter so you have no ability to measure risk anymore. And so you just borrow out your eyeballs because you say at 3.5%, how could this possibly go wrong? And you just borrow on up and on up and on up. Yours is so small it's irrelevant as a percentage of your world. Okay, it's less, 10% of your net worth or whatever. It's not. You could burn that much money in the middle of the freeway and it won't change your life hardly at all. So it's not. That's my point earlier. Now, having said all that, I will tell you that something happens when you don't have any debt. There is a sense of release that is very, very real. For some people, it's so physical that they literally feel it. Other people, they start making a little bit different decisions. There is a weight to this. It's like you're not carrying around a 300-pound weight on your back, but you're walking around with an 8-pound weight in your hand trying to do everything you do. And when you don't have the 8-pound weight in your hand anymore, you're going to feel a slight different level of freedom. But if I strapped an 8-pound weight to your hand, you could do everything you do today all day long. It wouldn't be the end of the world for you. Mm-hmm. But if you took it off, you're going to notice, wow, look at that. And it's not a mathematical thing. It's a spiritual thing, emotional thing, relational thing, and you just don't have it anymore. And there is a freedom that people do not grasp that have not been debt-free until you're debt-free. So I would challenge you to pay it off today. And if you hate it, go get you another mortgage when rates come back down.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think you will.
I would add that the converse is true. Not only is it liberating when I pay it off, but having the debt right now is burdensome. And that's one reason why I'm thinking about it. Yeah. It's not that I can't pay the payment, but peace of mind has a price too.
Exactly.
But the only thing that's getting me at 3.5%, I could take the same money that I have in the bank right now, put it into some other vehicle.
Yep.
And
I mean, if you put it in an S&P, over time, it typically would average 10 to 12%, right? And so you appear to make that spread. But what that calculation does not involve is the calculation of risk. And it's a little tough to put an actual risk math number.
And just your mental health. I mean, there's just something about when you don't have the payment. And Terry, I won't name the person, but there was someone visiting the office, Dave, and we were walking the back hallway because we were going to go do something, and he stopped and he was like, Dave, so y'all were kind of chatting, and I thought that he kind of followed from like what I know about him, followed everything we teach and all of that. And he was like, Dave, he goes, you know what I did for the first time ever? I paid off my house. I never, and I remember thinking, oh, I would have assumed his house was paid off. I just assumed it. And he was like, and everything you say is so right. Once I paid it off, like, it just does something to, and y'all had this
that guy had a $10 million net worth.
Yes, that guy totally could have paid it off. And I just assumed.
And he was laughing like, Dave, what you teach is right.
That's
like,
kind of what he said.
You doob, I've known you 15 years. How come you didn't know I was right? My gosh,
So it was just such a funny conversation to overhear because I thought, you don't put and that's the thing too with money is that you don't, there's not a price tag, there's not a number, there's not like a logical sitting on, black and white on paper to point to when you don't owe anything. And John Deloney talks about this. Suddenly your body feels safe. Like, even if it's a little bit of that 8-pound weight, like you're talking about with Terry, that it's not a big part of his world, but there's still this element there of, gosh, I owe something. Someone else still has their name on my life. And when that is just gone, free and clear, you just can't put a price on it. You can't put a price on the idea of just this absolute ultimate peace.
I mean, you can tolerate a small amount of back pain and get to where you live with it and hardly know it's there.
Totally.
But boy, when it's gone, woo. It's a big deal.
You feel it.
It's the same exact thing. It falls in that category. So it does add risk to your life, and mathematically, the risk does neutralize some of the difference in the perceived returns, the spread of the 3.5 over what you could invest it in. But the peace of mind, the decisions that are made differently, the breathing deeper, I have less need to watch the news. moment, and my life is just better because of it. And I'm just a little bit kinder. I'm a little bit calmer. All of these, and those things actually end up affecting your health bill later. They do affect, they affect your marriage. They affect, and you really can't, it's hard to quantify it all in a simple, I know you can't quantify it all in a simple math formula. It would be very interesting to find out the research of over a 40-year period of time. If you could do it, it would be ridiculous. But,
your stress level, your anxiety level,
the
everything.
hypothesis would be that obesity would be less, that health would be better, and your medical bills would be lower. That would be the hypothesis. That the percentage of divorces is smaller. And by the way, marriage is grand, divorce is 50 grand. Just try splitting your assets and starting over. See how that works for your wealth building plan. And so, that kind of stuff. So, when you take out and your kids are, they're having a different experience in the household, so they're more functional and you don't spend money on kid dysfunction in whatever category that falls into as often. And so it's not to say it's perfect, but there's a whole thing here, a holistic view of this, that it'd be really interesting to see how many millions of dollars that we waste on debt-related problems that are not math. Yeah, there we go. This is the Ramsey Show.
If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular, and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com.
Rachel Cruz, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. If you're visiting the Nashville area, put Franklin, Tennessee on your list. We're about 10 miles south of Nashville, a suburb of Nashville. And the Ramsey Solutions headquarters are right on the interstate. You can jump off and come and sit in our visitor center and watch the show happen. We do it from 1 to 4 every day Central Time. 3 hours of talk radio every day. And there's a visitor center, all kinds of fun stuff to see and do. Bookstore, a coffee shop that the coffee's free, and the homemade chocolate chip cookies are free. Oh my gosh, they're awesome too. You'll hate them. You'll just hate them. You won't like them at all. Terrible. In the lobby, by the way, we've usually got 50 to 200 folks watching the show every day out here, and it's completely free to do all that as well. Easygoing home atmosphere out here. You can hang out with us.
It's great.
Yeah.
The visitor center made it feel like there's like pamphlets and stuff around. No,
pamphlets.
Just come. It's
we
wonderful.
Have pamphlets.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, no, we don't have any pamphlets. We haven't had pamphlets in years. All right. On the stage, the debt-free stage, which is also in that lobby that we're talking about. Thus, I was doing that. Lee and Linda are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
We're good. How are you?
Good, Dave. So good to have you guys. Where do y'all live?
Grand Junction, Colorado.
Ooh, beautiful place. Very nice. Well, welcome to Nashville. And all the way over here to do a debt-free scream. How much have you paid off?
We've paid off $215,000 in about 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And cash flowed 4 kids, cash flowed some home improvements to house the 4 kids.
And what was your range of income during that 8 years?
We started at about 80,000, but then when we started having kids, Linda came home and the income dropped to 40. And now I'm finishing up about 130,000 a year.
Cool. What do you do for a living?
I co-own a building automation company. We do temperature control systems.
Very good. Good. Nice. And I'm going to guess since it was 8 years, maybe you paid off the house?
We did.
Yes.
We're talking to weird people.
That's
Way to go, you guys. 100% debt free. How in the world does it feel to not have a payment in the world?
Oh, man.
It feels amazing.
It's great.
Almost like we were talking about with the guy a minute ago.
Amazing.
How important it is, that feeling is there. The house and everything, man.
Yes.
So what in the world plugged you into all this Ramsey stuff 8 years ago? Tell us your story.
So, our work, we're in Grand Junction, Colorado, but we work everywhere from Breckenridge over to Telluride. So there's multiple hours of driving to different projects, job sites. So my father-in-law, he kind of got me into the Ramsey Show, the podcast. And in 2014, when we started this, I actually hosted Financial Peace, and I've taught 9 lessons.
Well, thank you.
And I've had 172 people come through.
Wow.
Oh, my gosh.
They have paid off $450,000. So they are the real heroes.
That's
I
amazing.
love it.
So, yeah.
That's
amazing.
very good. Very good. A super coordinator. Wow. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I co-host with my father-in-law.
Yes.
And
thanks, Dad.
He was definitely one of our big supporters, and
they were.
They paid off their house a couple of years ago.
Yeah. That's incredible. Well, having the goal of paying off your house, that's the big one, right? I mean, obviously getting completely consumer debt free is huge.
Yep.
And then when you go to move to the mortgage. So what caused you guys to want to do that? Was it, what was the thing that was let's work on the house. Let's do it. We have 8 years ahead of us.
Yeah.
But it's going to be worth it.
I think my mom and dad paid off theirs. And they were in their late 50s. And we just kind of looked at that and we thought, if they can do it, then we can do it. And Lee was a driving force. He had the vision.
Yes.
And I was I think the discipline is the big thing, though. Once you get past that first hissy fit of not getting what you want, you're like, wow.
What was hard about it? Because 8 years is a long time, you guys. And we say that you don't have to go gazelle intense when you're paying off the home, but because you're doing retirement and kids. There's other stuff happening.
Yeah.
I think once you pass that first hissy fit, you're like, okay, I can say no to myself, and it'll be okay. And then by the time you get a couple years down the road, you just don't even care. That stuff that was so important to you is now it's not important.
Yeah, and now you can do anything you want.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I mean, now you got $130,000 income, not a payment in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a great perspective, though, of the things that you think are important, and you're like, oh, I need to have this, I want to have this, and suddenly when you deny yourself of it for so long, you're like, oh wow, we are okay. We can really survive without this stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Discipline equals freedom, and the farther you get down, the easier that is to apply to yourself and to your marriage and to your home and to your children, and it works.
That's amazing.
It works.
Yeah.
Incredible. Oh,
and there was some rough years there. A lot of overtime.
Yeah.
A lot of
some extra work in there, huh?
Yeah.
Yes.
Overnight. Working till late, waking up early.
Yeah. So I don't think that's a Colorado accent. How long have you been in the States?
So I've been in the States since 2005. So about 18 years, I guess. 17 years.
From England, south of London.
Okay.
Just south of London. I came over here to teach skiing in Utah and worked out to Colorado, and we met actually at the ski resort in Utah. And
this is how it ends. This is how the end of the story for the ski bum thing looks. That's what it looks like at the end of the story.
They did. That dream got crushed.
He's got 4 kids, and
I had to give up the ski bum idea. Couldn't afford it.
We call Lee the dream killer. People come into these classes, and he's like, "This is week 2. The dream crushing begins." His ski dream was crushed.
Was crushed with reality.
Crush the dreams in week 2. I like that. That's good. That's funny. Well done, you guys. Very well done. We're so proud of you. Okay, when they do come into class, other than crushing their dream, what do you tell them the key to getting out of debt is?
I just talk about, with the budget. Kind of, I really like your buyer beware section. Don't go for the bling. Don't go for the fancy item. Whenever you research long enough, it turns out it's really not that good. Like a Black Friday deal somewhere. It really just isn't worth it. And obviously, don't take on any more debt. And just for everything you can, work extra and get rid of that debt. Because it's great to be free.
Well, congratulations, you guys. We're very, very proud of you. And I know your father-in-law is proud of you. It's
He
good
is.
stuff. It's good stuff. And thank you for leading so many other people through the process. That's so powerful.
Absolutely.
It's a powerful reinforcement for you while you're doing it, but it's has the side benefit of all those people got help too. So it's pretty incredible. Well done, sir. We've got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires for you because that's definitely the next chapter in your story. What's this house worth?
It's about $500,000.
Yeah, you're getting there, huh? Yep. All right, good. I love it. And a copy of Total Money Makeover. You'll be able to give that away to someone deserving in one of your classes, and a subscription to membership for 1 year of Financial Peace University.
Awesome.
And again, you may want to give that away since you're coordinating them all the way. Yeah. That's fine. We'll give you some stuff to give away. I like doing that.
Great.
And you brought the new babe with you. Yeah. And who is this?
This is Josephine, and we have 3 older children.
Okay. And how old is Josephine?
She's 7 months.
Very perfect. Very perfect. I love it. Good job, you guys. She's precious. Fun. All right, Lee and Linda and Josephine, Grand Junction, Colorado, $215,000 paid off in 8 years, making 80, then 40, then 130. House and everything. They're weirdos. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. Thank God we're debt-free.
Yeah. Man.
It's amazing.
We live in a culture where people can't stick with something 8 minutes. And those people stuck with this 8 years. Those are heroes right there. That's pretty studly. It's pretty impressive. Very, very well done. One of the attributes of the successful, people who can stick with this, stick with something.
Even when it's hard, you just keep pushing through.
Attention span of a gnat out there, man. It's unbelievable. Stick with it. Don't quit. It's worth it. Live like no one else so that later you can live and give like no one else. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Chris is with us in Chicago. Hi, Chris. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
First of all, I just want to say thank you because of the baby steps we've gotten out of debt and our home to my wife and kids. You've become Uncle Dave. So thank you.
Well, I'm honored. Thank you. I'm the crazy uncle.
Yeah, Uncle Dave. That's what we call you. But my question is, we are newly into Baby Step 4, and we should be investing 15%. But my wife will be stepping away from work to go to school full time. So we'll be only on my main income plus my side hustles. And we are wondering if we should forego 15% and just do minimum 403B match provided at my job, or should we still push our investments to 15%?
Why would you do that?
Why would I forego, or why would I?
Why would you stop?
My wife is saying because we're on the one income, it'd be kind of tight on the budget. That's kind of the reason. I'm leaning towards the 15% and just keep living, below our means like we have been. Not like crazy like we were, but.
How are you paying for her college?
I work for a university, so she goes full free.
Oh, wow. That's wonderful. What's she studying?
She's going back to be a teacher.
Okay. And how long will it take her?
We're thinking roughly about 2 years.
Good. Okay.
And how much do you make, Chris?
With side hustles, about 100.
Okay.
How many kids you got?
4.
What did she make before?
She made around 55.
Okay. So you took 1/3 of your income is gone. You took a 35%, 33% cut in your income roughly. And you're going to have a tight 2 years in order to achieve a bigger goal, which is her goal of being a teacher. And there's a sacrifice to get to that goal. So I think you can make 15%, and I don't hear a reason to not do it. I agree with her that it is going to be tighter, but that's one of the sacrifices you're making for her to go to school, is giving up her income, and then she'll get her income back when she graduates, and maybe then some, maybe some on top of that, depending on what she's teaching, where, that kind of thing. But I don't see a reason to stop it.
Yeah, just to keep going. I mean, it's what we teach, Chris. Now, for 2 years, if you guys pulled back and just did the minimum, I mean, you sound young. I didn't ask your age, but is it going to make or break you? No, but you miss out on that growth when you guys still can be putting that 15%. So there's really not, there's not a reason not to. So I think
it's the tightness is part of the decision you made when you made the decision for her to quit and go to school. And we made the decision for things to be tight for 2 years. And that's not unreasonable. You can do that. And so it's not like you're not going to have food on the table or something else. So, no, I think you need to stick with it. That's what I would do if I were in your shoes. Georgie is with us in Springfield, Illinois. Hi, Georgie. How are you?
Good.
Awesome. How can we help?
I was wanting some financial advice. I recently sold my company, and I have an influx of cash, and was wondering what you would advise me to do with it.
Cool. What'd you sell it for? How much?
I've got partners. My portion will be around $2.6 million, and that will be before taxes are paid. So,
way to go!
I haven't done.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Cool. What kind of business was it?
Assisted living.
Very good. Nice. How old are you?
I'm 53 years old.
Congratulations. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of hard work.
Well, what you are entering into is much like you did when you started a business. You're entering into territory that's unfamiliar. Thus, you're calling someone like us to get some advice. That's smart. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to gather a group of experts around you. If I were you, that's what I would do, to advise you and teach you, not to make decisions for you.
Okay.
You don't do something because someone said to. You do something because someone taught you something and you decided to. Does that make sense? So you do need, first and foremost, let's get a tax person in your corner. You have a great tax person on your board?
I do, actually.
Okay, good. So we're beginning to build Georgie's new board for her $2.6 million decisions, right? Okay, so first thing we do is we figure out what your tax bill is going to be, and we carve that out to the side.
Absolutely.
Okay. And
so here's my question. So should I take that tax bill, say it's $500,000?
Mm-hmm. It will be.
Should I, initially, I'm a you person. I don't like to be in debt. I was thinking I'd just pay it off to the government. But then I started talking about different short-term places I can put it into, and maybe I shouldn't do that, and I should earn interest on it until...
Yeah, you earn interest on it until the last possible second.
Okay.
And then you send it to them. You don't owe the money until April 15th of next year or whatever the date is, and you send it on that moment. Not a day before, because we're going to earn interest on it as much as possible. You have zero penalty for waiting until then, and so you might as well let the money sit. But I would set it aside in a separate account where you're not confused and it doesn't accidentally go to something else. Okay, and then there's three things you can do with money. You can enjoy it, you can invest it, and you can be generous with it. We always recommend you do all three.
I plan on it.
And not necessarily evenly. Okay? And so you decide how much you're going to spend on enjoyment, and go ahead and make a list of those things, what some generosity moves you're going to and you make some of those moves, and we're going to invest the rest. And you need to just go ahead and lay that out. Lay yourself out a little budget. Really, there's only 4 items in the budget: taxes, enjoyment, investment, and generosity.
Georgie, do you have any debt? Do you have a mortgage?
No.
You're completely debt-free.
I've very been disciplined since I've
It's amazing.
debt-free before I started my business.
It's amazing.
Let's pretend that you ended up with $2 million in investments, okay? If you sat down with a SmartVestor Pro, which is what we call the people that we endorse, we're not in the investment world or investment business, but this is who I personally use, is a SmartVestor Pro for my investments, and who we recommend all over the country. You can find one at RamseySolutions.com. Click and it'll give you a list of the people in your area. You choose which one you want to talk to. I'd talk to a couple of them and interview them. But let's pretend you invested this money and it made, the stock market has averaged just a little under 12% for the past 80 years. So let's pretend that you made about 10%, less than average. Okay? Here's the way the money will work. It's going to double every 7 years. You said you're 52, right?
I'm 53.
53. Okay. So when you're 60, it'll be $4 million. If you put $2 million in there, and don't touch it.
Okay.
And don't touch it. Okay. And when you're 67,
I'm good at not touching it.
when you're 67, it'll be $8 million. Okay. And it'll be $16 million when you're 74. Is this fun or what?
It's kind of cool, but
that's why I was so excited for you.
I mean,
it's amazing, Georgie, but also enjoy it too. She said.
I set $600,000 aside for taxes, enjoyment, and generosity. I'm just goofing off. I mean, if you can start with $1.5 million and run those numbers out, you'll still be okay. Is the point?
Mm-hmm.
What percent of my net worth should I be in the market? So I already have other money, and before I even sold my business, I had $800,000 sitting in a money market account getting 0.4%, which is ridiculously stupid. But I didn't want to put it in the
silly. Yeah, I'm
in the market.
Listen, 80, 90 something percent of my net worth, several $100 million, is in two things: real estate that is paid for, and in good growth stock mutual funds in the market.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got a ton in there. And I'm not taking a dime out. I'm not taking a dime out today. As a matter of fact, I'm trying to scratch together some extra to put in right now while it's on sale. And so I wouldn't worry about it. If you have other things, you're going to buy another business, that'd be great. If you're going to start another business, that'd be great. If you're going to buy some real estate, that'd be great. If you're going to invest in mutual funds, that'd be great. Or in something that you know and understand. But that's the things I know and understand. That's where my money is. Hey, thanks for calling. Congratulations. I'm so proud for you. Dave here. You can find all of our shows with the Ramsey Network app on your smartphone. It's the only place to listen to the entire back catalog of episodes. Download the Ramsey Network app in your favorite app store today. This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help folks build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author. My daughter is my co-host today as we answer your questions about your life and your money. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Graham in Richmond, Virginia starts this hour off. Hey, Graham, how are you?
I'm doing well. Dave and Rachel, how are you guys?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
Hey, so me and my wife were exploring, we're just in the early stages of exploring starting an ice cream business. Selling, maybe having like a seasonal, to start with, ice cream stand in the summer. And so there is a business nearby that kind of does something that we had in mind, a similar business model. And I went on their website just to kind of explore, what they're all about, and found that the owner actually does consulting. And so my question for you was, do you think it's worth it? And I can give you the prices and things. Do you think it's worth it to do this consulting before starting a business, or is it better off to put that money just into the business and go for it? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I think it has everything to do with how expensive he is.
Of course.
I mean, it's worth it. It's worth it to get knowledge from an operator for sure. But if it costs more than the stupid ice cream, then no. So what's he charge?
So there's 3 packages. There's 2 that I think would be, that I'm on the fence about. The first one is $350. And so it's 1 2-hour meeting and 1 hour follow-up phone call. And so it's just basically getting an overview of how this person went from, the idea to opening their business in the course of 9 weeks. The second one is $1,050. It says they go deeper, help you create a game plan for your business launch. It includes 3 2-hour meetings, 3 1-hour follow-up phone calls, and a 1-hour walkthrough of the operation that they have going.
And what will you invest into the business, do you think?
So we're trying to look right now. It's essentially the business model is kind of having a trailer and then renting out a parking lot area, and having the trailer parked there, and that's the location. And then,
So, what are you going to spend?
So probably about $3,000 to get I'm pretty handy, so we're looking at getting like a camper and then renovating it. I would do all the renovating. And, I'm not entirely sure how much the cost of,
Okay, so let's say you're going to spend $10,000 to get this thing open then.
Sure.
Okay. Then, yeah, either one of these makes sense to me. What do you think?
Yeah, and Graham, honestly, because of the size of the operation, if I were you, I wouldn't go to this ice cream guy because he's going to be your competition. But if there's a guy an hour or 2 out, to find 2 different people doing it and be like, hey, I'll come buy you dinner, and can I just pick your brain for 2 hours? They honestly may have more real-world experience in the ice cream world than the consultant. I mean,
no, the consultant owns a business. He owns one.
Oh, you're literally going to the ice cream guy, or No, I thought the ice cream guy hired a consultant, and you're going to that guy.
No. This is the actual owner of the business.
Oh, I misunderstood you. I'm sorry.
I'd pay $350 for that in a heartbeat.
Yes, I'm sorry. I thought it was just some random consultant that this guy used. Okay, yes. Then I would. I would do that.
Yeah, this is the actual owner.
I apologize. I misunderstood.
Yeah, I would not spend over $1,000 on a $10,000 business, but I would spend the $350 in a heartbeat, and I might spend the $1,000.
Okay.
What I might do is ask him if I did the $350, could I upgrade the difference, give him another $750 later if we wanted to add on more time.
Sure, that makes sense.
See how the first $350 does, because I got a feeling this guy doesn't make his living out of consulting with those fees.
Yeah, I doubt it, and I don't know necessarily if this pays their bills throughout the year. I'd love to ask them that and kind of
The consulting is just enough people have asked him about it that he got tired of giving away his info for free. That's all it is. He's not charging enough. So it's worth every penny of that from an actual operator.
Yes.
Now around here at Ramsey, we will bring in people like that when we're in a space that we're going into a space that we don't know. It's a new space for us, like we did the Borrowed Future documentary. We'd never done a documentary before, so what did? We called everybody we knew that had ever done a documentary, and everybody we didn't know, but we knew they'd done a documentary. And some of them were very generous with their time and helpful. For instance, our friends the Minimalists have done 2 very successful documentaries, and they shared everything as friends with us that they had done and what to do, what not to do. This won't work. When you try that, don't even bother. Don't call that guy at Netflix. He won't even talk to you.
And that's worth the money if you were to pay
If you paid $350 for all that, that'd been a deal. But that's what we always do. We try to get people in the business that are now. Sometimes there are 2 other kinds of consultants. There are other kinds of consultants who used to do it, and they used to do marketing for somebody. Now they do marketing consulting. And they've got a lot of experience, and they really know what they're doing. Maybe SEO as an example, and they do SEO consulting on the side. And they actually know what they're doing because they've had hands-on doing it, and they're valuable, and they're probably worth it. Sometimes, though, consultant means unemployed. That's all it means. It's like life coach, right? If you're a 23-year-old life coach, you haven't had enough life to coach, okay? So, I love you. I hope it works for you, but I'm not hiring you to be my life coach, okay? I got socks older than you. So, that's the kind of thing you're looking for. So in the radio business, for instance, there are consultants all over the radio business, and most of them, they just were people that didn't make it on the air. That's all they are. They're just unemployed. There's a few of them that are legitimate consultants, and they're friends of mine, and they're good people, and some of them just run around popping their gums, and they couldn't cut it on the air. They never could get a show that got ratings, and so now they tell everybody else how to do it, which is hilarious if you think about it. So
the key is that they were successful at some point or another in what they're consulting in.
No, they just
not
have convinced.
them, but for people listening, if you're going to hire a consultant, make sure that it's someone.
Oh, the key is yes.
The key is.
Yeah, they actually know. They've got some track record in doing something.
Yeah.
And in this case, the guy's an actual operator, which is like the best of the best.
100%. Yes.
That's what you want. You want somebody who's actually got. That's one of the reasons people love our entree leadership material, because it's how we run our business. And by God, the stuff we teach you to do in entree leadership, I did it this morning in a meeting. I mean, it's our playbook. It's what we do around here. We're operators. We're not somebody that a tenured college professor who's never made payroll and has an opinion on business. So no, we actually freaking do it. And so that's what you're looking for, is people with some common sense, hands-on experience. I love that question, Graham. Mm-hmm. Very nice.
That's exciting too, Graham.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
I know.
Get the hammer out and take a trailer and pop it into a little ice cream stand. You never know, man. You might be Ben and Jerry's before we know it. Probably not. You might be better. This is The Ramsey Show. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Hey, folks, put your dang phones down. Over the years, we've substituted having deep and meaningful conversations for binge-watching Netflix or scrolling through social media. Sometimes you can be sitting right next to someone but still be 1,000 miles apart. You deserve better relationships, and that means having actual conversations with actual humans. That's why mental health expert and Ramsey personality Dr. John Deloney created Questions for Humans. These are conversation starters that will help you put your phone down and actually connect and have fun with the people you care about. These cards are flying off the shelves. Looks like a deck of cards. You pull one out, it's got a question. You can sit and have a conversation with someone, a group of people. It's a lot of fun. We've done it a lot. You all keep asking for more topics, so we took the hint. We've got new conversation cards. We've literally sold tens of thousands of these things, but they're very popular. There is the new one. Here's the new ones. Girls' Night, Guys' Night, Dating, Parents and Teens, and Workplace Edition. You're going to spend time laughing together, learning something unexpected, and build deeper and stronger relationships. Pick up one or two of our new Questions for Humans, conversation starters, and start having some fun together. Shop at RamseySolutions.com.
Me and Courtney Dexter House, we were doing some the other day. One was, how long can you survive in the wild? So you're just dropped in the middle of nowhere. How long would you survive?
I guess I would just survive. I don't.
How long?
The rest of my life. I mean.
Stop! Oh my gosh!
It's not like it's not. I mean, I'm gonna make it. I mean,
See, this is why he's not fun to play with sometimes.
I know, but I mean, what do you want? 2 years? I'm 62. 28 years.
Oh my gosh! I said 72 hours. Then
really?
I waved my flag. I could last 3 days.
Oh, you have the option of waving a flag. I didn't know this.
Yeah,
okay.
like how long would you would you be like?
If you wave the flag, is that when you die? You said survive. Huh?
Yeah,
I'm going to fight. I'm not going to die. So, yeah. I'm going to kill something else and eat it.
One of my favorite questions, not from Questions to Use, I'm sure it's in there, is like if you could just like wake up tomorrow, the movie The Family Man with Nicolas Cage, where he like woke up and he had married his high school sweetheart and like what his whole life would have been totally different. He was like this like stockbroker in New York City. And then he woke up the next morning and he had married.
Yeah,
he had
I remember
kids.
that. That was a weird movie.
So that's I think it's fascinating. So it's always a fun question if you were to wake up the next day and be anything you want. So anyway, so we always ask, like we were asking family.
Yeah. Winston was going to be like a secret agent, right?
Yeah, like Winston would like be like a sniper or something. You know what I mean? And
he would
Bill
be,
would
too.
be on.
He'd be a good sniper.
Bill would like go and be a fly fisherman in Colorado. Dave's like, I'd just be me. I'd be me. We're like,
well, I mean, why would I want to be anything else? Come on, I got a great life.
You're like, you're not fun. It's not
if
fun.
I wasn't me, I'd want to be me. That's what I'm saying.
How long would you survive in the wild, Dave? I don't know until I died. I'm like, this isn't fun.
Apparently, what you're saying is these conversation cards don't work on me.
They don't work on you, no.
We got in one the other day. Daniel pulled them out in a operating board meeting, and I don't remember what the question was, but it ended up being who got the most tickets.
Speeding tickets.
Speeding tickets. And we totaled them up.
Dave.
There was like 8 people in the room, and I had more speeding tickets than all of them combined.
I believe it. Speeds. Breaks the law. A lawbreaker.
Every day.
Next to me.
Every day. It's laws don't apply. So.
I can't say that on the air.
I don't wear a mask, and I don't follow.
Okay.
And I don't.
Why? How did that go there? Anyways, you're a speeder.
Don't follow the speed limit.
You're a speeder.
Ian, get me out of this, please, God.
Help us,
Ian is in Miami. Hey, Ian, what's up?
Ian, how long would you survive in the wild? Ian?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe like a week, I would say.
Nice.
I'm not sure.
Good for you, Ian.
All right,
good for you. Okay.
He's scared to answer you. So you're scary. So if you don't answer the way you want, it's a problem.
All
right, Ian, what's up? What's up, Ian? How can we help you?
How can we help you?
Well, thanks for the time. I appreciate it. My question is trying to figure out how I can best or more effectively save money. So my goal right now is to eventually buy a home. I recently graduated from college, so I graduated last May from college. And so
congratulations. What's your degree in?
Thank you. I studied Spanish and chemistry.
Good. Okay.
And so right now I'm living at home. I'm saving on rent, obviously, since I'm not paying for rent.
You're cutting out. You cut out, Ian. All we heard was you're at home saving on rent. What do you make a year?
I make $60,000 a year.
Okay, move out.
Okay. Right now, I'm basically pocketing about $2,000 a month and putting that in, a savings account. But I wanted to know if there's a more effective way for saving. I've got some side hustles that I do. Dog sitting and photography. That's, some nice chump change, but I'm looking to expand that further if possible.
Good.
And I wanted to see if you had any sort of tips. I mean, right now it feels like I'm living more reactively, financially speaking, and I want to figure out if there's a way to be more proactive.
I think you're more proactive than you give yourself credit for. You're out there, you got side hustles, you have a savings game plan, you know exactly where your money is, you're telling your money what to do, you're not wondering where it went. I mean, it sounds like you're pretty proactive to me. What do you feel like you're reacting to that you're out of control on?
I guess it feels like, if you're familiar with Miami, there's the whole scene of, you've got like crypto and there's all this other stuff blowing up, which I typically don't pay much attention to. But I figured there must be another way, maybe
there's not a shortcut, dude.
Within the stock market,
not a
or
shortcut.
I don't know.
Are you investing at all, Ian, though? Are you investing in anything?
I mean, not necessarily. I mean, I've got like my 401k, and I've got, I think a money market that I share with my twin sister. We kind of figured a couple of years ago we'd wanted to save some money together.
Why?
And we both set aside some money there. But
why?
Besides that, I'm sorry?
Why do you save money with your sister? You're a grown-up.
Well, we figured we've always, grown up together, and we're like, why not? This was during the pandemic, and we were just kind of sitting at home and figured.
How much is in that account?
I don't know off the top of my head. I think it's probably around $3,000 to $5,000.
Okay, and how much is in your other savings?
$40,000.
Way to go! Very well done. Okay, Here's what I'm going to advise you to do. The wife that you meet in the future is not going to be fond of sharing a savings account with your sister. So I'd break that up today, not because I'm mad at your sister. I'm not. I think she's sweet, and it's wonderful that you're twins and you do this together. But I would break that up today. And so now you have $41,500 in your account, and I would go get you an inexpensive apartment and set you up a grown-up life.
Okay.
And I wouldn't worry about investing and looking for a shortcut. I'd start continue to save like crazy towards buying a house sooner rather than later. There's no panic. There's no rush. But sometime in the next year or two, try to buy a house.
Do you have any debt, Ian?
I have no debt. And so that is also a huge.
Yeah, it's great.
So that's why I kind of figured, I want to figure out if there's a way to just, obviously you said there's no way to make money fast.
Okay.
And I've definitely realized that. But, just trying to kind of leverage all of the opportunity that I have now.
Let me give you an opportunity you haven't considered. Okay, from 30 years of doing what I do. Personal finance is 80% behavior. It's 20% head knowledge. You are a very controlled and disciplined and mature young man. Well done, sir. Well done. Now, what I have found is that people, when they move out of their parents' house and buy their own milk and their own bread and get their own clothes cleaned and that kind of thing, it does something inside of them that causes them to make more money. And it's a little bit hard to calculate with a math formula, but it's like the last stage of growing up, and that's what you need to do. If you were my son, I would love you so much that I would kick you out. But I would do it gently and kindly, and we would help you get something set up, and we did that with our kids. We weren't mean to them. But the last stage, you're at it, baby. You're a year out of college. You got $40,000 in the bank. It's not financially efficient for you to live at home because you're limiting your personal growth. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And that's what I'm going to encourage you to do. This is The Ramsey Show. In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage, Brock and Jenny are with us. Hey, guys, welcome.
Hi, how are you?
Better than I deserve. Where do y'all live?
We live in Colorado Springs.
Oh, very nice. Welcome to Nashville. And here to do a debt-free scream, how much did you pay off?
We paid off $374,000 in about 1.5 years.
Way to go.
Whoa.
Wow. And your range of income during that time?
From $240 to start, and we ended about $350,000.
Excellent. What do you guys do for a living?
Well, I have a waxing boutique in Colorado Springs, and I started that about 6.5 years ago with my daughter when she's about 6 months old or so.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a digital product manager at a financial institution.
Ah, okay. Very well
nice,
done.
Y'all.
Well, you guys are killing it. Well done. And decided to take this fabulous income and just knock the debt out. What kind of debt was it?
We paid off the house.
Woo!
Oh, nice.
All right, looking at weird people. And that's a nice house, too. How much is it worth?
Now?
About $950,000.
Amazing, y'all.
So I'm looking at Baby Steps Millionaires as well. Well done, you guys. At least, if not more, yeah. So how much is in retirement accounts?
About $900,000.
All right, so a couple $1 million net worth. Well done, guys.
Thank you.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
Congratulations.
How old are you millionaires?
I just turned 40 this year.
I'm 36.
Amazing, you guys.
You killed it.
Incredible.
A lot of people make a great income and completely screw it up. And you guys made a great income and killed it. Way to go, y'all.
Thank you.
Well done. Very well done. Excellent, excellent job. All right, a year and a half ago, you say, you look up and you go, we could reach over and smack the house and knock it out. It's doable. You can see the numbers. And what made you do that?
It actually started when we moved to Colorado Springs. We've been there going on 8 years now. And one thing that I came across was your podcast. When my son was little, I didn't know a whole lot of people. And so to put him to sleep when he would nap, I would just find a neighborhood to drive around and I would listen to you. And I loved everything that you taught. And
I'm good for putting him to sleep. That's
No.
I got it. Yeah.
And I ended up mentioning it more and more and more to Brock, and
to the point that Brock got tired of hearing it.
Yeah, and then it was just like, you know what? Let's just like hammer this down. And for me, it was when we paid off our cars, we were like, oh, well, why don't we just take that amount, that set amount that we would be paying every month for a car payment, and add that to the mortgage, and it just sort of kind of went ahead from there.
We had a general approach for avoiding debt and how to save money, our own like 4-step process that we had. However, when I learned more about your process, which is more sophisticated than what we were doing at the time, and we were also willing to play with fire to have benefits, but those benefits really are ancillary versus the risk. And then when we fully adopted your plan and fully stop putting money into an excess emergency savings or investing it, we decided to redirect that to the house. And now we have no fire in place. And now we can redirect that money fully to investing. And it's far more comfortable. And your approach about the snowball and really how you begin to fire at individual objectives really helps you to achieve it a lot faster. And I think that 1.5 year period when we paid off our house was...
It was a whirlwind.
When we look back on it, you look at it as like an insurmountable task, something that would be very difficult. And looking back on it, you go, it was a breeze. But it's not something I want to revisit. So certainly going back into that is off the table.
Yeah, but you're done forever. I mean, you're sitting on $1 million house, and you're not even 40 years old, and it's paid for, and you got all this margin now.
Yeah.
You can do anything you want to do.
Yeah, the goal is from how we grew up in our experience as children, and very fortunate to be where we're at, and very fortunate with our 2 children that we get a chance to give them a different life and build upon
a very
that.
different life than what that we grew up with.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't talk about money or anything like that.
Yeah.
Sorry, Rachel.
No. You're great. I was going to just say though, Brock, you sound like a very process-oriented guy. You have your processes and all that. So tell me like the emotional side of being debt-free. Because we've taken a call even last segment, and the guy was like, I don't know, should I pay off my house? It's only 3% interest. He's kind of toiling with because of the math. Didn't feel like it. So you probably, I would assume, kind of can fall in that bucket. But the idea of paying everything off, how does it feel? Both of you, I want to know.
It feels great. Like when you guys ask questions about sort of how do you do this? I think you can focus a lot on the tools for how to do something, but I think really you focus on the behavior components. And the prior guest talked about discipline equals freedom. And I'm a very big Jocko Willink fan. If you have the discipline to do something, you will get the freedom from it if you're willing to dedicate the time and the focus to that. And a real big habit of mine is to break habits. You can break most habits in the middle of a week. And so I really try and find like things that are sacred to us or things that I shouldn't be doing and try and break those, whether it's through exercise or diet or paying off the house, which is another habit that we broke. Is like, it's only, $2,000 plus a month. Not a big deal, right? But the behavior and how you engage that's stuff that really challenges me, and that's stuff that I really embrace.
I love that.
Overall myself.
It's awesome, you guys. Incredible. What did it do for your marriage, walking this journey?
I think we're really good team players to begin with, and so I feel like we're just so much stronger. Especially now. I mean, when you can get a marriage that really coincides on the financial aspect of it, it really strengthens so many other aspects of the relationship. And everything else seems kind of trivial after that,
Early on in our relationship, we had a situation where we first started dating, and I took out a credit card and built up $1,000 in debt. I was 19, she was 24, and I wanted to impress her. And one night, we couldn't pay for ice cream. And it led to a really honest conversation the first year of us dating. We've been together for nearly 17 years of really hard learnings. And I look at this as like a ladder. Every ladder, you get to a plateau of where you get a better view and a better view. And so us saving our first $1,000 or us having our large emergency fund or us paying off our house, now our view is more and more broad. So those controls that we had on money get looser and looser as we get more control and a better vision for where we're going in the future.
Beautiful.
And so things get a lot easier when you start letting go of that. And a great example of that, I know this is funny here, but I don't care about her getting her nails done now at this point. I used to, and now I don't. It seems like a trivial amount, but that goes back to, I think, discipline.
And behavior.
Yeah.
Discipline equals freedom.
It's only this. It's fine. It's not a problem, but...
Jocko and I have been trading ideas back and forth for many years, and it's the same thing. The way we say discipline equals freedom is if you live like no one else later, you get to live and
100%.
get your nails done like no one else, right?
Yeah.
And when I recommend books, I always recommend his books and your books because they're life-changing.
Thank you. I'm not near as big or tough as he is, but actually he's a big softy, really, if you get right down to it. But doesn't pull it off well, but he is. He's a great guy. All right, guys, congratulations. We got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires for you. That's where you are. You are one. And a copy of Total Money Makeover for you to give away and help somebody move along this journey. And, of course, we've got a Financial Peace University membership for a year. And that's the new videos with George Camel, Dr. John Deloney, Rachel Cruz, and me. And the best Financial Peace University we've ever done right now going out there. So give all that away. Help somebody out. You guys are incredible. You've got a real grasp on the things it takes to win. Not only in finance, but in everything else. You're a pretty impressive couple. Very, very well done.
Thank you so much.
Very well done. And let's bring the kiddos up. What are their names and ages?
Liam is 9 and Harper is 6.
All right.
Sweet.
Good-looking guys. I like it. Well done. All right. So Brock and Jenny, Liam and Harper from Colorado Springs, $374,000 paid off. 40 years old and less. They did all this in a year and a half. They make good money, $350,000, but they have $1 million house that's paid for and $1 million in their retirement, are just under in both cases. Count it down. Let's hear a great debt-free scream.
1, 2, 3.
We're debt-free!
So sweet. That's incredible.
Talk about a family tree being changed. They did it with an exclamation point. Boom!
So fast.
Fabulous. This is the Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, Proverbs 9:9. Instruct the wise, and they will be wiser still. Teach the righteous, and they will add to their learning. Thomas Jefferson said, honesty is the first book of wisdom. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Ruth is in Cleveland, Ohio. Hi, Ruth. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure. How can we help?
Well, my husband and I have been married for 29 years, but we've always had one problem: extended family.
You're the only ones.
Well, my husband came from welfare and got his college education, and then I came from the opposite side of the track. But both sides of the family has always had money problems, and we've been having problems understanding what our biblical responsibilities are to family. And it got so bad at one point when we were 45, we looked around and discovered that we had less than $100,000 in our 401k. We had $80,000 on credit card debts and a big mortgage. So we said to our family, this has got to stop. We're being ruined. And so we spent a lot of years. We had $700,000 in our 401k. We were down to the last $4,000 on a credit card, and we had $11,000 emergency fund. So we were going to be debt-free this year, and our mortgage was paid off.
Good.
Then we said, we're doing great. then the family emergencies happened again. His parents are in their mid-70s, very bad health, and his sister, and her 2 daughters all ended up homeless at the end of the year. So we grabbed a $30,000 loan out of our 401k, bought a manufactured home for them, a 3-bedroom, threw them all in it, and got our name off of it because we didn't want to be legally drowned with them. And then just other emergencies happened, and our $11,000 emergency fund drained also. Part of that was us. We had a basement leak, so that was $6,000 for waterproofing.
How old are you?
I'm 55, and that's what has...
How old is your husband?
55.
So when are y'all going to stop this?
Exactly, but how can we walk away from family? Is it biblically?
No, it's not.
Especially as parents
that
are ill.
Biblically, there is no mandate for you to support misbehavior. If your mother is doing cocaine, you are not biblically obligated to buy it.
True.
If your mother is misbehaving and won't work, you're not biblically obligated to buy her food. Not biblically. Absolutely not biblically. Those that won't work, don't let them eat, Paul said. Do you remember reading that?
Yes, but now his parents are too old to work, and they're very sick.
Yeah, that's not what I'm talking about. You said biblically.
Right.
Let's solve that first, because you got to quit blaming the Bible for your lack of boundaries.
Okay.
It's not the Bible's fault. You can honor the position of father, honor your father and mother. Remember 10 Commandments?
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Right.
You honor the office of father and mother, but not the misbehavior of father and mother.
Okay.
If your father raped someone, you wouldn't honor that.
Oh, no.
Okay? You don't, so you honor you, but you can still honor the office of fatherhood. Okay? You follow me? In the office of father, the office of mother. So we can honor your mom and dad, even though they have misbehaved, and even though they're... Now, let's move past the Bible then and say, okay, from an emotional standpoint, they need some food. Am I going to go buy them some food if I have $700,000? Yes, I am. Okay?
Right.
No question. Am I going to give them a house? Probably not. Am I going to make them? Am I going to make them get on a budget and live within their Social Security income? As a part of me loving them well, as an if I'm going to give you money, you're going to do what I say with this stuff. But you're just giving a drunk a drink for 25 years. You're enablers.
Well, we thought we were saving families, like when we paid the property taxes for his brother, so
Didn't work,
he
did
and his
it?
4 children. Actually, his brother did get out of everything, and now he's a truck driver, and they're doing well.
Okay, so you did help them. You enabled them to do better instead of enabling their misbehavior.
Right, but no one else is doing better.
Okay. So what's the reason is you require, if you give someone that has an alcohol problem, that you have a process in place that they don't spend it on alcohol. I'm using that as a metaphor, you understand?
Right, yes, okay. I do.
All right. So you're sweet people. You're kind people. And by the way, Ramseys are kind people. We just understand boundaries.
And Ruth, it's taking you and your husband, your heart for wanting to help, right? You've done it in a misdirected way, but still taking that spirit of helping, and whether that's through teaching, whether that's through, hey, you're going to go through this class. I mean, whatever you put up, there's a way to still help and love them by not just funneling them money constantly. So who else are you guys? Who is dependent upon you right now in your family?
My husband's parents, his sister, her 2 20-year-old daughters.
Why don't they work?
They are emotionally damaged or get counseling and too shy to interview.
Yeah, they need to get a job. Now.
Yeah, honestly, we would have been okay not helping them, but because we did say stop when we turned 45. But then when his parents became too ill, we're like, well, we can't leave them out on the street being that ill.
Yeah. Well, but if I'm going to help them, the other people don't get to live with them.
We were hoping that they would take care of his parents.
No, you weren't. You didn't have no intelligent person. I already know these people well enough to know they're not going to do that. And you know them a lot better than I do.
True.
They're too shy and they're too deep into counseling to go out of the house and get a job, and you thought they were going to take care of someone? You didn't really think that.
Well, we thought if we threw them all together, they could kind of help each other.
Yeah. Oh, darling, that was bad hypothesis. We're going to put a bunch of broken things together, and it's going to make one fixed thing. I don't think so. Okay, so you guys have got... Listen, I'm going to send you a book called Boundaries by Dr. Henry Cloud. And I want you to lovingly, kindly, and firmly start helping people, not throwing money at them. And helping them means you move them like you did the one brother-in-law to sustainability. Every move that you make with money has to move them towards standing on their own.
All right.
And some people that may mean not giving money to.
And just letting them be what comes.
Yeah, yeah. Magically, 20-year-olds who get hungry will go get a job. It's magical.
True. Very true.
They'll bust through their trauma, and it'll be amazing. Or they'll end up in an institution or something because they truly have a mental illness at a level that they don't need to be living down with broken down 75-year-olds.
Right. That actually is true too.
Yeah. So one of the two, they either need to they need to paint or get off the ladder. They're 20, and they're parasites.
Right.
They're parasites. So it's time. It's not good for them. What has been modeled?
What is our future too?
Yeah. What his dysfunctional family? It's his family. What his dysfunctional family is modeled to these two 20-year-olds is horrible.
Yes.
And it's done them a disservice. That's what enabling always does. It's a disservice.
Yeah.
So
and not that their problems aren't real and all of that, but you have to learn. I mean,
I want you to love them. I just want you to love them well, and thoroughly, and with wisdom, and kindness and firmness. And all you've done is just kindness only, and it hasn't resulted in what you wanted. That's why you called. The book is Boundaries by Dr. Henry Cloud. Hold on, we'll send it to you. That puts this hour of The Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
hey, it's Rachel Cruz, co-host on The Ramsey Show. If you want to do your debt-free scream live on the show, visit RamseySolutions.com/debt-free scream. We'd love for you to come to Nashville and tell Dave your story. That's RamseySolutions.com/debt-free scream.